in the 10-plus year history of this show, there's a certain story that keeps coming up over and over again like a Mad Lib with a different proper name of the player involved and the team involved. The league is the National Football League, and the story, the narrative where you just change the names, is the name of a quarterback that Chris Brockman feels isn't deserving of the money that he's getting. Just because in the NFL, the way it works is when you play well at the quarterback position in your first contract and your second contract is up, it is now your turn to get paid generational amounts of money, if not the most money in the league, as the market keeps going up and up and up. Am I correct in that sort of assumption right there, Christopher?
Yeah, you need to earn what you get paid, Rich. I don't think that's a novel idea.
You've been grinding that axe. You have been, for the literary folk out there, tilting at that windmill nonstop. I just called you the Don Quixote of the Rich Eisen Show.
I'll take it.
Very good.
Thank you.
So for this fact, Chris Brockman needs a hero. And in order to reset the market. And or a quarterback test case. Number of times we've been talking about, will a team eventually just tell the quarterback that has done very well for them in the first contract, not enough to pay you generational amounts of money? Dare I say, turning their quarterback into Luka Doncic, saying, we will just cut bait with you at age 25 because we're concerned about fill in the blank. Again, it's a Mad Lib. In the case of Luka, it's like drinking and not taking care of your body. We don't want to give you the Supermax. Is there a quarterback out there? And I believe, Christopher, speaking for you again.
Thank you.
You have identified the latest test case for you, and his name is Brock Purdy. The guy who was chosen the last pick in the draft of his draft, and then performing very well. But for a very talented team, we're just rolling footballs out. Is it the coach? Is it the scheme? Yada, yada, yada. We had Steve Young on Monday. Had no idea that we would be front-loading this conversation when we had it with him, but I asked him his thoughts on the Brock Purdy, as we say in the sports TV radio business, situation. You know, the situation's a very large,
covers a lot.
You know,
yeah.
I guess cauldron in which you can place everything, like a contract and a negotiation and his past work and whether he's deserving of it. That's the situation. Mm-hmm. Because we all know.
We ain't talking Jersey Shore.
The top of the market.
We are not.
Well done. Is $60 million set by this man's team's ownership. Jerry Jones, he will not set the coaching market. No. That he will not do. That is his red line.
You're asking
too much. He will go
now
into the ownership room and say, you are spending too much on coaches who do not work for you anymore. Look at how much money we're wasting as a collective group of members. But paying your quarterback $60 million, well, I'll do that. Sure.
He got short arms and deep pockets when it comes to the coaches.
And how many of his members might actually, fellow members look at him and say, oh, you don't want me to overspend on coaches, but thanks for resetting the quarterback market, Jerry.
It's marvelous.
So we spoke to Steve Young about the situation, and this is what he had to say.
The game today is dominated. The prototype is the guys that are winning the Super Bowls. The guys that can throw it all over the field, run all over the field, get all the free first downs, all the touchdowns that are out there with their legs. They press. Even if they don't use their legs every play, they threaten every play. It is the NFL today. So if Brock is 80% of that, you know what I mean? Like, he can threaten, he can move around, he can do all the things you do, and he can process as well as anybody. So in that way, quarterbacks are so hard to find that Brock has done enough for sure to go out and get paid and get it done. Now, back to my original point, I don't know that it's going to be smooth. How could it be smooth, right? Because there's going to be, Brock's people are going to want $60 million a year, and the 49ers, I'm just making this up, but 45, whatever it is. And there's just going to be some back and forth. But I guess just hold on to that thought that I gave you earlier about the spirit of what ownership and what, general managers and even Kyle are thinking about and the rigor about how they're going to handle some of it. So it'll get done, but I don't know how fast it'll get done.
Says it won't be smooth. And you mentioned doesn't know what the Niners are going to offer, and he threw out the number 45.
Oh, interesting.
That's what Steve said on Monday. And then on Tuesday night, our buddy, my longtime colleague at the NFL Network, information man in the National Football League for many years, Jason La Canfora, tweeted out, 49ers playing hardball with Purdy is very on brand. Starting your offers at $45 million a year is something. The franchise tag for quarterbacks is 40, and they're offering Purdy, who's making 5.1 this year. Let me do the math. The franchise tag plus what he's already making, and $100,000 for the effort. $45 million. And does this mean the Niners are attempting to reset the market? Which would be somewhat ironic, Chris, because if I had to name the top 5 people that you think do not deserve the kudos that he gets in the National Football League, in the history of this show that you pound the drum, it would be one of those on that list, Kyle Shanahan. And it does appear that he's part of the team that on this front, on this subject matter, on this grinding axe of yours, is the hero you've been waiting for.
Did I just become a 49er fan?
Look at you over there. Look at you over there.
Again, I've been saying this for years. You don't have to do it. You don't have to pay someone the max just because they're up next when they haven't done it and earned it with their play on the field. Now, Brock Purdy has taken them to a Super Bowl. He's also been hurt. He's also had a maxed out superstar roster around him and a coach that everyone seems to really think is a smart guy. So we'll see.
Well,
yeah, but you like what you just said, earned it. The goal is to get to and win the Super Bowl, and he's put them in the position to do that.
He sure has.
Year. So
he sure has.
Unlike a lot of quarterbacks who've gotten that, who haven't come close to doing what this guy has.
Making in the mid-50s.
If you're going to say someone has earned it, you got to kind of look at Brock and go, you've earned it.
That's correct.
Jimmy Garoppolo took them to the exact same place. And where's he right now?
Jimmy Garoppolo overshot somebody to try and win a Super Bowl.
I don't really like the narrative that was a bad throw. It hit his fingertips.
Excuse me. And also, Purdy had them in the red zone in overtime of a Super Bowl in which they did not win.
Did they
No,
win?
I get it.
Get a touchdown?
Listen,
How'd that drive go?
As always, you got to go inside the numbers here. The Niners for 2025, currently their cap figures, the one making the most is Fred Warner at $29.2 million. Kittle's making $22, Trent Williams $21, Nick Bosa $20. They just got rid of Debo's $16. McCaffrey, believe it or not, has a cap figure this year of $9.4 million. I'm wondering if he's looking at what Saquon just hit yesterday and might be raising his hand. I don't know. And then you look at the cap, as I mentioned, franchise tagged figure of this year, 40. Next one, apparently, unless these numbers change, 41 million, and the year after that is 51 million. So you're saying to Purdy, listen, you're making 5 this year. We're willing to give you another 40. And then if you're going to be a little obstinate on this front, we'll franchise tag you at 41 next year, which is less than what we're giving you now. And then we can franchise tag you the year after that, and that's 51 million. Add it up, Brock. And that's more than 5.1. And guess what? You want to talk about a 3-year deal? Maybe we'll throw a little bit more scratch than that average on the table, and now you're in the 50s. You say no to that? Like, that may be their approach here. And interesting enough, if they basically say we can franchise tag you and this is how much you can make, and we're willing to give you a little bit more of it right now. So we have cap flexibility for you, and we can get more weapons for you. And not only that, you get the guarantees as opposed to going year to year. But if they're taking the approach where we can go year to year with you, and we're comfortable with that, and also that shows potentially a little bit of a bet hedge on his abilities. The irony of this is the nonstop chatter that we've heard since Kyle Shanahan took the gig in San Francisco is that you've got to find yourself your next Kirk Cousins. Or maybe the genuine article, right? How many times our next guest, Daniel Jeremiah, says if you're in the Shanahan or McVay system, you must pay fealty to Kirk Cousins, right? How many times have you had that made that joke?
You bow down.
Name me the last quarterback who the team said, we'll go franchise tagging year to year with you because that's all we're willing to do on various fronts, financially, as well as our hedge of a bet with your abilities. Who's the last quarterback who had that happen to him?
Oh, first-team financial Hall of Famer, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. So it looks like they've really landed on their Kirk Cousins after all. If this is, in fact, the hardball, like, again, Lock and Four is saying it's 45 out of the gate.
Yeah.
So you may have gotten the hero you've been looking for right now, Chris. It's not like, okay, Dak made 60. 60.1. Sold. Let's go. Market's been reset by Jerry Jones. We're fine with that. Let's go. You're the next $60 million a year quarterback, Brock, because it's your turn. Doesn't appear to be
You don't have to
happening.
do it. You don't have to do it. Oh, John Lynch, you beautiful SOB.
You just want to go up to Santa Clara and give him a hug?
Just want to give him a big old hug.
I wonder if Brock feels the same way.
Pat on the
I'm
back.
saying that because now you're in Brock Purdy's pockets. I'm sure he's got something
Oh, really?
to say to you.
If I offered you a 9X raise, would you take it?
9X.
As opposed to...
As opposed to
Zero,
1X or 0.
Oh, okay. Well,
You're taking what you got.
I know. I thought maybe he might be like, on the other hand, there's a 15X.
We'll
I
let
gotta
you
see
play
what
it
I'm being
out.
offered here,
We'll let you
know?
play it out. And guess what? The $5 million you're making this year and the 41 that you'd be franchise tagged for next year is $1 million less than we're willing to give you right now. You're leaving scratch on the table. Is that their approach with Brock Purdy?
Or they're not really sold.
You heard what Steve Young had to say. I think they're sold, but not to the tune of what Jerry did with Dak. You know? And remember, it was like a 2-year logjam after the Browns gave every guaranteed dollar to Deshaun Watson, which created problems, if I'm not mistaken, due to just my memory here, created issues with the Cardinals and Kyler, right, for a little bit?
Yep.
Messed with that. Like the Cardinals are like, yeah, just because every single dollar was guaranteed by Jimmy Haslam doesn't mean we have to do it.
And then Lamar was next, and then Hurts was next.
Right, and then not all of them did the guaranteed
Right.
dollars, but they got
Burrow,
theirs.
Herbert, Lawrence, Tua.
And then Jerry finally acted the day before or the day of the season last year.
I think all those guys have one Super Bowl, and that's Jalen Hurts.
You got your hero, Chris. It looks like it's materializing in San Francisco.
John Lynch.
And Steve Young was right. It's not going to be smooth, but it will get done. You and I both know this.
Whatever
will get
Rich
done,
Eisen
but-
says is true.
But that number might be, start with a 4. It might be 4s.
I don't think so. It'll start with a 5. It will start with a 5. They'll get that up. They'll meet in the middle. They'll figure that out. Might not be for more than 3 years,
Might be.
you know?
Does he get more guaranteed money than we think Stafford is going to get from the Rams?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I do believe so. We'll see. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.